Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages. It is 8:30 on a Wednesday. Bring your beverages, whether they be alcoholic or non-alcoholic. Get comfortable. It's time for the outsiders. And here we go. One of our outsiders, in fact, is pouring his drink right now. That's why you see a chair in the lower left. We will get to all that, but let's first remind you that it is The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. I am wearing one of those performance crews from Poncho. Chance, it's like he's rocking one of those nice black flannels. I think our man Jason Dick is rocking a poncho tonight as well. You know who else was rocking poncho this week? Whoo, Lord loves a working man. The performance crew is in effect out here in Cisco, Texas. We tell you Poncho can do it all. If you're trying to rebuild the world or build something, or just, you need a little protection with a long sleeve, ponchooutdoors.com. Make sure you mention the Outsiders when you order. And Doc Hastings is a fan of the performance crew. Y'all also know he's a fan of those mother of pearl snaps. And he's joining the show later on because Bo Edge has a bone to pick with my father, Doc Hastings. He's requested an audience. He's requested an audience with Doc. It's not true. He's the head of the fan club, and he wants to talk to Doc Hastings tonight. That's what's happening.
His father, Doc Hastings, who I've met on numerous occasions and is a remarkable human being, only outclassed by his wife, Sylvia Hastings, has one of the most elaborately, awesomely cool business cards I've ever seen.
Yeah. We're going to break down the business card. First time this is ever, probably the first and last time it'll ever happen on the Outsiders, a business card breakdown. That's coming.
I haven't turned my hat on backwards, so my last stand hat can show Texas emblazoned right across. It's Aggie Day, so I wore burnt orange in every capacity with the horn on the vest and the orange poncho. I went all orange all the time.
There you go. He's fighting against all the forces. And there will be, it's not like there's an Aggie theme to the show, but we are challenging Chance Mock tonight with the Mock 5 Top 5. Are there 5 Aggies that Chance will admit make his favorite list? We'll get to that a little later on. But first, we got to introduce the Outsiders. It is Mock 5 in the upper left. It's the quarterback, and I'm sure he has a beverage. Chance, what are you drinking?
Well, I would have a beverage, but here's the thing. I'm on call this week.
What?
So, yeah, I'm on call. So, I received a phone call at 1:30 in the morning last night. And
Dr. Mock?
We're just going to go with that. Joe Biden gets to put doctor in front of her name. I'm putting it in front of mine. So, Dr. Mock it is at 1:30 taking phone calls on broken down scissor lifts. So, yeah, I'm sticking to the water tonight, boys.
Yeah. By the way, if y'all want to jump into the chat, feel free. ATX Bait says, gentlemen, good to see you. Chad, why did your tool belt literally have nothing in it? Come on, man. No, you rewind that, ATX Baits. There's stuff in that tool belt. How dare you? And things went a little quicker because of that tool belt.
Beers in there.
There's
a bottle of Fireball.
Stop. Just because you didn't see a hammer in that hammer loop didn't mean there wasn't something in the tool belt. All right? That sounds like a weird analogy for something else. But anyway, if y'all want to jump in the chat, feel free. By the way, I'm doing a little Coors Banquet in a stubby bottle tonight. There's really very few things in the world better than that.
I don't get the bottle. Could somebody explain to me the bottle? Like, it drives me nuts. I will not buy that beer for that reason, but you're drinking it. Can you explain?
You don't buy the stubby bottle? Apparently it takes us back. This is the way they served it, like it's back in the 20s and 30s. They're paying tribute, and everybody kind of loves it. It's a stubby bottle.
I had a red stripe in one of those bottles one time.
Yeah. Those are good too.
It's for circus folk or carnies with small hands. It makes your hand feel better. And Jason, you get the movie reference there.
Carny folk, small hands.
Exactly.
Small hands.
All right. The lower right, as always, is Jason Dick. Jason Dick, what are we drinking tonight?
Well, busy day, guys. I just came from the movies where I am an AMC Unlimited member. $20 a month. I see as many movies as I like. Pretty good for a guy with no job. All right.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Time out.
Yeah.
If I join the AMC and pay $20 a month, I can go see unlimited movies?
That's right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
How have I not known about this?
The problem is I signed up for this last summer and I was like, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna see all the movies I ever wanted to see. And I realized I was like, they only make like one a month that I want to see. So maybe not getting my money's worth. But I saw Mickey 17 from Bong Joon-ho, the guy who directed Parasite. It is okay. However, I'm still drinking my large movie beverage, Sip Something Original, only with freestyle. And so I was inspired by their slogan. This is a half Coke, half Diet Coke, because I'm trying to lose some of the weight. I got to watch my calories. So I got half Coke, half Diet Coke in my AMC Unlimited cup. That's right.
Well done. A little Coke suicide at the movie.
A couple of points here. One, we've seen you in Hawaii with your shirt off. No need for the Diet Coke. Keep going the route you're going. Two, did AMC have you fill out like an application for this card? And in said application, did it ask if you were unemployed? Because I don't think they'd have given you the card if they didn't know you could come every damn day.
I think that they are happy to see me. And I look, they're playing the movies anyway, okay? It's not like, I know when I walk into an all-you-can-eat buffet, the manager's like side-eyeing me. He's like, oh, no, we're going to lose money on this one. But the movie's playing anyway, okay? They're not losing any money by letting me into the theater every day, all right? As a matter of fact, they're making money as I buy $17 worth of popcorn.
I want to use that line the next time I go to a sold-out concert or maybe sporting event. Like, hey, they're playing anyway. Can y'all just let me in?
I don't need a ticket. Yeah. Okay.
And remember, when you go to your movie theater, ask them for the Jason Dick. It's a Coke and a half. No, not that one. It's a Coke and a half. I like that comment. Yeah, that's good. Coke and a half.
It is a Tenacious D thing, by the way. All right. He was in the Jack in the Box. Half Coke, half Diet Coke.
Man, Jason. You
trying to watch my weight.
What's that? Go Pepsi. I'm a Pepsi guy.
What?
That's
Is this some kind of Woodlands, Houston bullshit? Those people exist?
No.
They're
Pepsi
people?
man. I'm a Pepsi man.
No wonder you originally committed to A&M. That explains an awful lot, Mark.
That explains it. Lower left, as always, is the country gorilla. It is Bo Edge. He does have the hat flipped around backwards like he's Tony Romo back in the day. What are you drinking there, Bo?
The amazingness that is this hat from Last Stand hats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got left field on the front, badass.
Yeah.
And then when you turn it around, it says Texas.
It's good. It's a fantastic hat. What do you got in that beverage glass tonight?
Well, it's been a week, so it's just it's half a bottle of Angel's Envy and no mixer.
Wow. Oh wow. Okay.
That's how tonight's going, fellas.
It's gonna be one of those shows. So Bo,
but I did put ice in it. So when the ice melts, it'll be like whiskey and water. So it'll be fine.
So Bo Edge wants to talk to my dad with a bunch of whiskey in him, and my dad might show up with a beer in him. So who knows what this is going to turn into?
I know I'm a little cocky, but I've met your dad on a few occasions, and every single time he says he likes me. He may be lying, but I think he'll like me a lot tonight.
He's going to really like you tonight. Yes. Y'all are going to be the head of each other's fan clubs tonight. This is going to be a good time. We'll get into that. We do have a super chat that's already come in as well. In fact, hey, we say it always goes to the top, right? ATX Bates $4.99. Jason, AMC doesn't show those kind of movies. Don't become the millennial Pee Wee Herman who wins a natty first. Sark or Schloss? Well, there's an interesting question.
Sark, right?
Sark.
You got to put your money on Sark there for multiple reasons. One of them is the weirdness of baseball. I think
the main reason why is because of the time duration to build the program in the image that you want it. Sark's had a run to assemble the talent he wants and the coaching staff he wants and get his sea legs under him. Schloss is in his first year. The team will look completely different in 2 years once he's built it into a national power again. And I think some of the deficiencies that the Longhorn baseball team has at present, which would hurt their goal of winning a championship, like bullpen or multiple starters that aren't named Jared Spencer, that will take care of itself. So long term, I think Schloss has a title in him. Short term, give me Sark.
I know they haven't played anybody, but aren't they 14-1 and on a 14-game winning streak? And half empty Bo here is talking about their deficiencies. All right,
they are kind of on a heater.
Well, fill up the rest of the glass, Bo.
Okay, think of it this way: they have essentially played JV baseball for 15 games, and they've played a couple real teams along the way. But even Texas Tech is I think they're 3-11 this year. So beating Tech is not this massive accomplishment like it has been in years past. Let's see what happens after Mississippi State and LSU. If we get through that stretch 4-2 or better, then I'll become more of a believer. I believe in Schloss and I believe in the program, and they can hit the shit out of it.
I think if you split those two series,
3-3 would be okay.
You call that a good look. Here's the thing. Texas fans, I think, can be excited about what Schloss is doing. I think you can tell the brand of baseball is different.
Hell yeah.
The attitude is different. It's fun to watch. They're about to run into the gauntlet it is the SEC, and I don't know that they have a top 10 Friday starter in the SEC right now. And
I think they have one. I think Jared Spencer has good enough stuff.
That's good enough. But what I'm saying is, Bo, like you can't definitively say that's a top 10 Friday starter against all the SEC other teams, right? That's where they're going to have an issue when they get into into conference play. But I still think the direction's phenomenal. I think what they're doing is incredible. It's fun to watch.
I like where the team's going. I love the bats. I'm more on team Jared Spencer. I think he's the real deal. And I think even if he looks like Bert Auburn with his hair coming out of his hat, I think the guy can absolutely throw a baseball. The other guys I don't know about yet. I hope they prove me wrong. But to win at Omaha, you got to have more than one. Like to win tournament baseball, you've got to have 2 or 3 horses and a legitimate closer. And right now, Texas is kind of deficient in the multiple starters and or the closer.
All right, ATX Bates, thank you for the super chat there. We got some
Pee Wee Hermans, Jason.
We got none of that. We got some weird chats coming in. Also, since we had a question about Sark and Schloss, we also mentioned, and Alan kind of goes to where we started the show, or where we headlined the show tonight. Sark knocking on the door for the ship. Our man Jason Dick, investigative reporter Jason Dick, saw something this week that he wanted to bring to everybody's attention. It was one of those off-season list things, and it's Bruce Feldman's list, correct, Jason?
Yeah.
Bruce Feldman's list of the top 25 coaches in college football currently, and I'm about to show it to you. Here it is. Maybe a little bit of a small font, but everybody squint. Everybody get your readers.
Everybody get your readers.
Everybody get your readers. Get your readers, Grandpa. Kirby Smart, Ryan Day, Dabo Sweeney, and then Steve Sarkisian finds his way in at number 4. So if you guys need it, you can let me know. But let me ask the question: is it just that easy? If you've won a national title, you're 1, 2, 3. Everybody else falls below. Jason, I'll start with you. You brought it to our attention. What got you? Like what made you react on this thing?
Well, there's up and down the list. There's all kinds of interesting things that we can discuss. But specifically, Sark being 4, Sark being rated below Dabo Sweeney, LOL, and Ryan Day as well. Because yeah, I didn't even at the time figure out, those are the 3 active coaches who have national championships. But I kind of thought of it and every year Bill Simmons, big podcaster, puts out his NBA trade value list, where basically anybody who is ranked ahead of you, you can't trade with that guy. And anybody who's ranked below you, you should in theory be able to trade with that guy. I would not, and this is from somebody who I think 18 months ago on this show said, "Are we sure Sark's a good head coach? Maybe he's just a coordinator." I would not trade Sark for any head coach in college football, including Kirby Smart. All right. And if Ohio State wanted to trade head coaches, I'd say, no way, man. And if Clemson calls, I'm not even picking it up. All right.
Okay. So 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 on this list.
Yeah.
You don't want any of them.
I would not trade. I get the argument for Kirby Smart, but I just think that Sark, the arrow is still pointing up, okay, for his trajectory. All right. It is, and it is pointing pretty straight up for, he's accomplished a lot in a short amount of time, but the arrow is pointing up. Those other 3 guys, I mean, Ryan Day, I guess he just won the national championship. It's hard to say it's not pointing up, but this is the only year he would have even made the playoff. Okay. In most years he would have lost to Michigan and gone to the Rose Bowl and played Arizona State. So I think the trajectory is a lot flatter for all of those guys, including Dabo, who I think is going down. So yeah, I was surprised to see him as low as 4.
The one here, okay, you're talking about arrows up and down.
Yeah.
The one that was a shocker to me is Kalen DeBoer at number 5. What way is his arrow going? Because it couldn't have gone up after last season. And if you're telling me he's headed down, Where the hell was he going into last season?
Yeah, that's a lot of love, gentlemen. DeBoer, I was going to ask the same thing, Chance. DeBoer all the way up at 5. I know he gets a lot of respect in the coaching realm, but 5 on this list, above Freeman, who just went to the title game, above Lanning. I mean, I don't know.
The Lanning one is crazy to me. Like, if you told me Dan Lanning was 2, like, I might argue that I would trade with Dan Lanning and Sark. I probably wouldn't. But, I mean, he lost 1 game this season to the team that won the national championship.
Well,
so you'd have put Lanning higher.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know Bo is about to shit on Dan Lanning. I like Dan Lanning.
No,
okay?
I like Dan Lanning. But Kirby Smart and Dabo, and I like Sark, and y'all know I'm a big Sark guy. They don't just have 1 ring, they have 2. And there's something to be said for being able to follow up winning once a second time. Kirby Smart still has a dominant program in Georgia, as Texas fans would know, since we played him twice and got beat twice. And for real in the first one, maybe not in the second one, but in the first one, Sark was dramatically outcoached by Kirby Smart. They had a game plan to beat Texas that worked to fruition. I got no issue with Kirby Smart. I think he should be number 1. I understand why Dabo's still up there right now. Fine with Ryan Day. Here's the one that makes no sense to me. And I know I'm going further down the list. I'm not even poking holes in your theory, Jason. Dan Lanning is a top 10 coach, whether you want to split hairs, Marcus Freeman's done a good job. How the hell is Rich Rodriguez, who hasn't had a coaching job since 2017, in the top 20? Rich Rod took over at West Virginia and is now in the top 20. I'm sorry. Lane Kiffin didn't make the list, but Rich Rod did.
Well, Lane Kiffin's 20.
I mean, that is absolute. Bruce Feldman is friends with Rich Rod or something, because that doesn't pass anybody's last test.
Wow. I didn't know he was even there, Bo. I just scanned this list earlier. I did not see that Rich Rod was in there. My eye went to Dion and Signetti, and I skipped right by Rich Rod. That's
the part. Like, are you kidding me? In
totally
all the coaches in college football, you took the guy who hasn't even been an assistant coach since 2017.
So Chance, I want you to give me a thought on this Dabo Sark thing, because this is where I've heard people battle it out today. In fact, Catch today on House Divided said he put Sark above Dabo. You got to give, like Bo said, got to give Dabo the love that there's 2 titles, beat Saban both of them, and whipped Saban for 1. But Chance, do you bring him down a little bit because of his lack of portal awareness and his lack of like current, education in college football, where it feels like he's slipping? How much do you give him the love for the titles, and then how much do you pull him back for that?
So I think you have to pull him back. And I agree with Bo. Look, winning multiple national titles, even if it's 2, winning 1 is impressive. Winning multiple is impressive. What Dabo's done is great. His inability to adapt, and it's not his inability to, is unwillingness to adapt to the current college football, I think, is really hindering where he can go. Hold on one second. Where I have a real problem is the opposite of that NIL. It's Ryan Day. I don't think Ryan Day is a good football coach. I think he has bought some massive lineups. There's nobody that can choke a big game better than Ryan Day. I don't think he's a great football coach. I'm sorry, I don't. I think he's won with better teams, but I don't think he's a great coach. My bigger beef is not with Dabo. My bigger beef is with Ryan Day being at number 2.
I got no issue with Ryan Day going further down the list, but I get the recency bias. He just won a national title, and honestly, in pretty dominant fashion. Like, Texas fans, we can watch that game and say, yes, it came down to the last play, but if you weren't a Texas fan or Ohio State fan and you were just looking at scores, you see a 14-point loss or a 14-point win by Ohio State. They kicked the crap out of Oregon. The national championship game wasn't nearly as close as the score. Like, Ryan Day's, whether it was the assemblage of talent or anything he did to coach it, right now he did the damn job, so he deserves somewhere in the top 5. Like, but
I'm not taking him out of the top 5. I just don't think he's the number 2 coach in college football. I think he had the best roster in football last year. He had 2 juggernauts of running backs. He had the best freshman in the league. He had an incredible defense.
So here's my point on Dabo, though, Chance, because I really do want to say, like, people are wearing Dabo out about his not wanting to use the portal. It doesn't mean he's not using NIL dollars for his existing roster. They are spending money at a level commensurate with Texas, Ohio State on their actual recruiting classes, or they're trying to. They're not succeeding as much. He still has Cade Klubnik. He still has a good roster, and he made the playoff. So, yes, he hasn't adapted, and he's a dinosaur. But 5 years from now, if he has a program that's working how he wants it, and I'm not saying he's going to, but he has a vision for how it should work to develop kids and have junior and senior laden teams that can win titles and not just scrape by. So if his theory works, and maybe he's not a contender every year, but every third or fourth year he has a Klubnik with a roster around him of guys that are a team, then maybe his style isn't, it's not as shiny or fun for the fans, and you don't get to talk about all these new players coming in and out. But if he wins or goes to a championship game every 3 to 5 years, he's still coaching the shit out of that team.
I think Dabo Swinney is a great coach. I'm saying he gets a knock for not taking advantage of the tools that are there now. That's all I'm saying. And to another point on Rich Rod, the fact that Mike Elko was able to do with that A&M team after his quarterback, I don't know what happened to him, but with the quarterback issues and whatever, with what Elko was able to do in College Station this year, and he's not on the list, but Rich Rod is, and Lane Kiffin's not on the list, but Rich Rod is, like, that's, to me, is –
Rhett Lashley took SMU to the playoffs. Freaking U. Like, Rich Rod wasn't even coaching. How is he ahead of Lashley?
And to one of our chatters, ATX Bates, Rhett Lashley thought he was a wrestler. No, ATX Bates, that's not true. I don't believe he is a professional wrestler. You're thinking of Jeff Jarrett, not Rhett Lashley.
And to a couple of the chatters are putting points. Look, the fact that Dabo doesn't want to bring in rent players, he feels like he's built a culture over the last 15 years at Clemson, and let's be real, a pretty damn good winning culture. He doesn't want mercenaries in his locker room. He wants to train players to be better. Now, was he wrong or right? Well, time will tell.
If that's what
sometimes the guy that is the disruptor actually ends up being right. And I'm just saying, Dabo's at least earned the benefit of the doubt by what he's done over the last 10 years. Everybody's like, his way's wrong. He should be bringing in portal guys. He should be doing this. Well, one, Clemson probably doesn't have the portal money as everybody else, and he'd rather focus it on guys that he can keep on his roster. But two, he hasn't fallen off that much. They were in the playoffs this year. You know who wasn't? Kalen DeBoer. Look, go back to the list and see guys that are in ahead of your other guys that didn't even make the playoffs. Guys like Kalen DeBoer, Matt Campbell. No.
Right. But there's also a difference here between who is Bruce Feldman telling us he thinks is a good football coach and who's currently coaching a football team that's, badass. Yeah. That's two different things.
Let's be real. What has Jeff Brom ever done at Louisville?
Yeah. I mean,
what is Lance Leipold? Yes, he can be a good coach, but those guys haven't earned anything yet either. So I'm fine with Dabo having the spot he has, whether he likes NIL in the portal or not.
Yeah, I understand the argument of if you put skins on the wall, you get to be at the top of the list. I'd make an argument to maybe slide Sark ahead of one of those, but I don't know. I think Sark. Some would say Sark's getting some love at 4, and
I think he's getting a lot of love for.
Yeah,
I think he's getting a ton of love.
I love what he's accomplished, but we make fun of Ryan Day. Ryan Day's had more playoff appearances than Sark.
Would you trade Sark for Ryan Dabo?
No, not in a heartbeat.
Would you trade him for Dabo Swinney?
No,
of course not. And then I feel like that's how you should rank the coaches.
All right, so I trade Kirby. But here's the thing: I think what Sark's doing here, in this environment, in this town, with this fan base, is remarkable. But he hasn't finished the job yet. So until he finishes the job, he can't be at the top of the list. You have to have a ring on your finger to be the best coach in college football.
Riddle me this, Riddler, because this is where I think that the way that personalities fit with universities are huge. I think if Dabo Swinney came to the University of Texas, he would not be able to get as much out of it as Sark has done, because Sark is great with the boosters. He's great with the alumni. It's a different monster. At the same time, I think if Sark went to Clemson, didn't have the spend possibly that Texas had, doesn't have those maybe things, I don't think he has the same success as Clemson. I think you've got two guys that fit in where they're at. Like, I think that's a big part of it.
Well, but that's where these lists, like I said, we can poke holes in it and it's fun. I think Sark is appropriately placed at 4. If he was 6, it wouldn't make me go crazy. Like, do I think Sark's better than everybody? Like, I'm not going to say I think Sark's better than Kirby Smart because Kirby Smart's done it. And they've worked together. They're friends. Like, that's splitting hairs. But right now, he can go Tom Brady style and show his hands with some rings on it as an assistant and as a head coach. He's got a handful of rings.
But Bo, Kirby Smart is still wearing a visor, okay? Sark gave up a lot of people are going to say quitting drinking was the best thing Sark ever did. Quitting the visor, okay, is the best thing that Steve Sarkisian ever
when
did.
you reach 50 plus and you wear the visor, it's okay. You're just an old man.
Bo,
it's when the young guys
visor wearer right here.
Look, that's it. Kirby Smart isn't rocking that Lane Kiffin half a visor like I'm trying to be young and cool. No, he's rocking the old man PGA Tour Big Bill visor. Let him rock.
Yeah, by the way, you see Bo Edge down there, as we pointed out. He is rocking a Last Stand hat. Before we do anything else, let's show you a little Last Stand hats. If you're a Longhorn fan, just let it wash over you. Look at all this stuff. I mean, look at all the hats they have for you. This is what you're looking for. You need Bo's rocking that Occupy Left Field hat, DBU hats, Texas baseball, Texas softball, whatever it is you want. They have all kinds of choices for you, even if you want to just pay tribute to the drum from back in the day. And remember, if you follow UTEP, not quite yet. Not quite yet. They're working on it. What are you gonna do? They're working on it. Last Stand hats. And since we are working our way towards a guest, remember, Last Stand hats brings you all the guests on the show. So here in a little bit, when Bo and Doc Hastings come face to almost face, it will be brought to you by the good folks at Last Stand hats. Remember, Outsiders 10 is your code. There are 12 different color combinations of that Outsiders hat. You can use that code, hit the QR code there, and get all kinds of cool hats with Last Stand. So we're almost there. We're almost to that point. In fact, Chance Mock, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Since we are almost to 9 o'clock, I will give you the choice tonight. It is your Mock 5 top 5. You have been charged with picking your 5 favorite Aggies. Would you like to lay out your top 5 and then ultimately have Doc Hastings come in and be part of the judging committee? Or would you like Doc Hastings to sit down as you begin to present your Mock 5, your Mock 5 top 5?
Mm-hmm. I think I would rather Doc Hastings join us for the Mock 5 top 5, and then he can weigh in with us.
Okay. In that case, Jason Dick, I need you to do me a favor. We're going to have you tell the good folks about Star Ranch, and then we are going to get Doc Hastings set up as you do that. Can you handle that for me?
Absolutely. All right,
let's hit it.
The golf club at Star Ranch, my favorite place to play in all of Central Texas. It's been a couple weeks for me. How you doing out there, darling? I got to come by and hang with you because it's a great place to play 18. It is always in tremendous condition. The weather has absolutely turned around. It's going to be a perfect day hitting the holes out at Star Ranch because fairways always lush and green. The greens rolling true. You can make putts on these greens. You can score well. If you're a great golfer, birdie available, eagle available. And if you're not as great a golfer, although guys, I'm hitting them good these days. I'm hitting them good. I promise. It's not so very punitive if you hit bad shots out at the golf club at Star Ranch. Also, totally fun layout. A lot of creative sort of holes. You see the one right there. You can scan the QR code to get more details. They also do tournaments. If you're looking to host a charity tournament, perfect spot for that. Scan the QR code or call 252 Golf. Set up a tee time at the golf club at Star Ranch.
Well, gentlemen, a handsome man has entered. If you're going to ask him to show up, he might show up. He might be wearing a poncho shirt. He's got the Piedras Negers going on. Don't stand. You might not get back down. That's probably not a good idea. All right, so Doc Hastings is with us. Tell the people, what are you drinking tonight? Please be very careful. Don't spill the beer. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, tonight I'm drinking a real ale brewed in Blanco. This is a Devil's Backbone. I don't know, y'all may have had it. Yeah, named after that windy road between Wimberley and Canyon Lake, I think.
Yeah.
And it is that's what I'm having. And I would prefer to, I'm in a koozie, but will y'all let me use that side of the koozie?
Oh, you're bringing in propaganda. What are you doing? Now you just spilled the beer. What did I say? You're holding it like it's a wine glass. Can we please?
Leave your dad alone.
Are you okay?
Hey,
hold it like
Doc Hastings.
would ya?
You drink that damn beer how you feel like it.
Hey,
Did y'all
Doc
see
Hastings,
him? Did y'all
as
see
I've
him
always
holding the
said.
thing like it was a baby bird? It's a devil's backbone, for God's sakes.
I am an equal opportunity dumbass, and I will make fun of Aggies, Red Raiders, Alabama fans, or the like, but I will always respect someone who graduated from a university and is proud to represent it. So if you want to cheer for the Aggies and show an Aggie koozie, so be it. I'm just going to keep drinking a lot of straight whiskey to drown out the tears.
It's good to see you. In fact, it's good to see all you guys again. I want you to know I'm a big fan of this show. And I really, y'all are the ones who turn me on to these poncho shirts. I love them. Everything y'all said about them is true, and I love these poncho shirts. And so I think about you every time I wear them.
Hey, I'm gonna get you one in this orange color. We'll send it.
No, wait, let's wait. Wait a minute.
Careful.
I'm not sure.
And you careful too over there, Mr. Magoo. Let's make sure we figure this out. All right. Okay, Chance, as we get started, let's thank our great new sponsor for the Mach 5 Top 5. Bo, they are Integro Construction Services. Tell them what they can do before Chance starts listing off Aggies.
I'm going to tell you the main thing. It's called nanotech. It's new technology. They spray it on your roof to give it longer life. Up to 15 years of extra life for your roof if you spray it. With all the wind that's been going on in Central Texas, this prevents hail damage, wind damage, sun damage, water damage. Insurance claims are not going to keep happening. I'm in the insurance industry. These hail claims are going to go away because they're not going to cover it. Now is the time to protect your roof. Integro Construction Services is the dealer for Canon Nanotech right here in Central Texas, and you want to give them a shout. 987-1273. 987-1273 for less than the cost of your deductible. Whether you have a 1% deductible, 2% deductible, 3% deductible, get Integro out to quote it. For less than the cost of your deductible, you can make your roof last infinitely longer, 10, 15 years longer, and withstand the hail, wind, rain, all those things with a simple treatment. It's easy, goes on in less than a day. They don't leave. When roofers come, stuff ends up in your yard. Nope, they come, they spray your roof, they leave, and you have the peace of mind of knowing your house is protected. It's Integro Construction Services, the licensed dealer of Nanotech here in Central Texas.
Bo, I have a great idea. From now on, anytime we want to give you the drunk test, we're going to make you say the word deductible 10 times in a row. Because I thought a little bit of whiskey and the deductible really was good. That was fantastic.
So I work in the insurance industry. I say deductible 100 freaking times a day. Give me some more brain busters, sir. Like there's plenty of words I can't say. Give me a Texas roster and let me try to name the names. I'll butcher it 6 ways from sideways. I can say deductible every day.
That is fantastic. All right,
I have nightmares about deductibles.
Chance Mock, you have a challenge tonight, sir. It's the Mach 5 Top 5. You're picking your favorite Aggies. Let's hear your top 5. How hard was this for you?
This was actually it was difficult because I got a lot of Aggies that I do love. I do.
All right.
My first is the honorable mention that we always have to throw out there, and that is one Mr. Gene Stallings, who I love and adore that man. And he was so gracious and kind to me. I was supposed to be on a radio show with him in the 2005, and we were in the Omni. I was supposed to be on a radio show with him for the Texas OU game. And the night before, I might have ended up going out with some of my friends and some of the cheerleaders, and we had a good time. And I woke up, and I was supposed to be on with him at 8 because it was the 11 a.m. kickoff. And I woke up at 9:23 in my hotel room, and I had like 70 missed calls. And, like I looked and I was like, oh, crap. So I think I said more words than that. But I ran downstairs, and Mr. Stallings was sitting there, and they were doing the live broadcast from inside the Omni. And I threw on my headset. I hadn't showered yet, but I did brush my teeth. and he was so kind. And I have always loved that man. I looked up to him as a coach, but as a human being, phenomenal. All right, let's get into the top 5.
All right.
Number 5, I would crawl through shards of glass, run through a wall of barbed wire for this coach who played at A&M, one Mr. Dan Campbell, one of the greatest. I mean, what he's done with the Lions is phenomenal. He is one of those guys, like, every player should look at him and be like, I want to go play for that guy, because if somebody picks on me, my coach is going to kick your ass. That's the way he looks.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, because anybody that gets to leave practice, go play 9 rounds of golf, drink 6 beers, and still be in the Hall of Fame, Mr. Shane Leckler is about as good as it comes. If you don't have Shane Leckler in your top 5 and you're an Aggie.
Before you get to the rest of your list, you have roommates at 4 and 5. Do you think the Leckler shoots a text to Dan like, you need to go on the outsiders if you want to move up the rankings?
Hey,
yeah. How about that? Leckler edging out Dan Campbell. That's pretty good.
Hey, just remember, there is a third roommate to that tripod that we don't know if he's going to make the list or not. We're going to find out.
Okay. All right.
Number 3, he was the first Aggie that I truly ever loved, and that was because he was an absolute killer, a beast. He was the Wrecking Crew, Quentin Coriat.
Okay.
The man, the myth, the legend, absolute stud.
Okay.
Number 2, because it's the chicken and the egg. Was Johnny Football really Johnny Football? Or was Mike Evans really Mike effing Evans?
Interesting.
Mike Evans is number 2 for me. He gives back to his community. He is, what he does in Galveston ball, in Galveston in the community. Y'all know that I love to go down there. We have a condo down there. Absolutely love the city of Galveston. I love that island. I love the history. And what Mike does, he gives so much back to Tampa and to Galveston and to College State. He's just an incredible human being. He's one of the best people you will ever meet. Mike Evans is number 2.
That's what I said.
Mikey at number 2. That's fantastic. So, all right. Well, let's hear it. Who's your number 1?
Well, first we have to do first out. We can't just go to number 1 because there's so many out there.
Oh, sorry. This is first out. This is just okay. So there's honorable mention. There's honorable mention, and this is just outside of the top 5.
This is first out. First out.
First out.
Didn't make the list.
Okay.
He is the tripod, and the tripod that was the roommates, and that is one Mr. Billy Lucci.
Wait a minute. You were roommates with Billy Lucci at some point?
Not me. Campbell and Leckler at one
Campbell
point.
and Leckler were. I'm sorry. Campbell and Leckler. Okay, my bad. I understand.
I think Lonnie Madison mixed in there at some point.
Okay, Billy Lucci just outside the top 5.
Just outside.
All right, so Dan Campbell, Shane Leckler, Quentin Coriat, Mike Evans, your number 1 of the Mach 5 top 5, at least for now, is who?
Who will always be number 1. He'll always be my favorite Aggie. He is one of the most outstanding human beings. I keep in touch with him, and I love him dearly. He embodied what it was to be a Texas A&M Aggie. He embodied all that was the Bryan College Station area, and that is none other than the man. They should have never let him leave. The way they took him out was terrible. R.C. Slocum, my favorite Aggie of all time.
Wow.
RC, number 1, RC. What are you doing?
That's good.
Trying to make me cry, Chance Mock.
Yeah.
Okay. Chance Mock lays out our Mach 5 top 5, and the first guy to take a cut at it is Jason Dick, because he loves to tell Chance when he's wrong. Jason Dick, what did Chance get wrong?
Well, first of all, I want to say I once peed next to R.C. Slocum at the Holiday Bowl, and I thought that
like
was
on the field or in a bathroom?
in a bathroom, but
Okay.
it was at, what was that place called? I think it was called Qualcomm at the end, but just that
Qualcomm. Yeah.
hideous concrete whatever thing. And so
Yeah.
it was just a big ass trough, and I just kept my eyes forward. I was like, hey, what's up?
I was about to say, were you eyes forward? Or
Yeah. Oh, no.
Details you want to give us, Jason?
Yeah.
Or
No. So yeah, I love R.C. Slocum. Thank you for not making me waste my insertion on Mike Evans. I love Mike Evans till the day I die, because on January 1st, 2023, week 17 of the NFL season, a meaningless game versus the Carolina Panthers, Mike Evans, 10 receptions, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns. Week 17, as you guys know, is the fantasy football championship. And that brought me more glory on that day. I know you guys all have children and the like. I think that's the favorite day of my life is January 1st, 2023.
Mikey won you a title.
He won me a title. Yes, Mike Evans with 3 touchdowns. He's like 55 fantasy points. So he is the man. I'm sort of torn on what to do here because I do believe that Johnny Manziel should be. Is he my what? So it's the favorite Aggies, right?
That's correct.
Johnny Manziel just provided me, despite the fact that he, won a Heisman Trophy for one of our most hated rivals, it provided me with so much joy, okay? Because he kept messing up, okay? He just kept messing up in all these hilarious ways, all right? It was the gift that kept it, not just that the guy it represents the Texas A&M College Station, and he's driving to Austin to party every weekend. All right, but it was just
he was floating on swans. I mean, come on,
right? Jumping in pools. He's got the money phone. Now eventually things would get kind of ugly for my man, but just being on the radio at the time in Austin was just so great because I did this thing. I stopped calling him Johnny Football and just started giving first I think I just said Johnny Foosball, but then I was like attributing other like Johnny Racquetball. And then I was like, is he Johnny Football named after the sport or is it the actual apparatus with which you play the game? So he was Johnny Hockey Puck for a little while and Johnny Badminton Birdie. And so
now he's Johnny Pickleball.
Yeah. Oh, is he a pickleballer?
Did you call him Johnny Shuttlecock? Did that ever happen?
Yeah. No. So I really want to put Johnny Manziel in there because he brought me a lot of joy. However, I said I'm torn, and so I am not going to put Johnny Manziel in. I unfortunately, man, I would kick Shane Leckler out just because punter, but he was so awesome on our show. So unfortunately,
he was great on the show, is what he was.
Yeah. Quentin Corey is going to get cut in favor of. This is probably a violation and surely won't make it to the end. I'm going to go actor Rip Torn. From such films as Men in Black, The Larry Sanders Show, Freddie Got Fingered, all right? Rip Torn, I think is your most famous Aggie actor. Wow. So I'm putting Rip Torn on the list as my favorite Aggie.
I've got to Google this fella.
I always forget that Rip Torn is an Aggie.
He's the guy in Dodgeball, the old man in Dodgeball.
Chance, please.
You can throw a wrench.
Double check that for me, Chance. While Bo is talking, I need you, the Mach 5 Top 5 originator. Please double check this. Bo Edge, country gorilla, Aggie hater extraordinaire. I know this is difficult for you. The 5 favorite Aggies have been laid out, and somehow the greatest hit in Aggie history has been replaced by Rip Torn. I just said that out loud. What are you going to do with this list?
Okay, well, shout out to my others receiving votes. The pride of Amarillo High and PGA Tour professional for 20 years, a guy I played junior golf with, Ryan Palmer, just missed the list because somebody would veto it. Ryan Palmer is a badass individual, a great golfer, and he's a great Aggie, but he didn't make the list.
All right.
Rip Torn is gone.
Oh, come on.
He just got ripped right out of this.
Hold on. Before you rip Torn out of there, Jason, I don't mean to pee on your parade.
Oh, did I tell you guys I once peed next to R.C. Slocum?
He did go to Taylor High School. But
Rip Torn or R.C. Slocum?
No, Mr. Rip Torn.
Rip Torn went to Taylor High?
He's a duck.
But this is from the Wikipedia page.
Are you going to tell me he's not an Aggie?
Torn was a member of the Texas A&M Corps of Cadets, although he graduated from the University of Texas where he studied acting under Shakespeare.
How?
So I swear to God.
Jason,
I love when Chance shows his phone on the screen.
Right.
Jason, did you just long play a house divided joke? Did you just long play that because you knew Rip Torn was a Longhorn?
I did not know that.
Do that?
I'll tell you. I don't know. Bo, you tell me. Do we claim Rip Torn? I never seen Rip Torn as a celebrity guest picker on College Game Day.
I wouldn't even claim him as a good actor. We're relevant to what university
I think he's a stinking Aggie. All right. How can you be in the A&M Corps and not be? I don't understand.
Ask Chance. He committed to A&M and then went to Texas. Weird things happen. That's why the one I'm replacing on the list is Rip Torn with another Aggie defector who happens to be the greatest baseball coach in Aggie history, but now he's our baseball coach.
Oh my God.
Jimmy Schlossnagel for the W, baby.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
That's
good.
rudeness.
I have another one that I'm going to amend. I just
Complete
can't figure out
rudeness.
who to cut off the list. So we're going to
All right.
add a above the list.
So did you say?
Doc
Okay,
Hastings.
hold on. Hold on. Let me
get
make
rid of
sure I
RC
understand your
Slocum for
first.
Doc Hastings, but Doc Hastings is on the damn list.
What?
Oh,
Okay, wait. So hold on. Let me understand. Sloss has replaced Rip Torn,
Yeah.
and you're trying to find a place for Doc Hastings on the list?
Well, I'm saying I'm replacing R.C. Slocum with Doc Hastings, but knowing Doc Hastings the way I do, he'll decline that nomination because he's an R.C. Slocum fan. I'm just saying I'm throwing it out there that Doc Hastings should be on the list.
Okay.
wow. Thank you.
You're
And
pandering.
when we get into the business card discussion later,
Pandering.
I mean,
All right.
our
Yes,
list,
pandering.
how many
our
guests
list
can say that
needs a
they were put on
Cobra
the top
that's an
list?
independent thinker. That's a tease, buddy.
Guys, if I may, just for a second, I'm on the Rip Torn bio on IMDb.
Here we go.
Rip Torn attended Texas A&M and the University of Texas, where he joined the Sigma Chi fraternity.
There you go.
He majored in animal husbandry.
Wow. At Texas or at
I don't know. This is on IMDb. This is not
It
user generated.
doesn't say he graduated from either. He was just partying and doing acting.
What is animal husbandry? Come on, Aggies, help me out. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Animal husbandry is a great department. I mean,
Oh, careful. Careful.
Hold on, Doc. You have a very secure spot at the top. Don't ruin it now.
Oh, my
Hey,
Oh my God. Okay.
I will say, and Chad
Yeah.
can attest to this. To Randy's text right there. I did question: should I put like Robert Earl Keen or Lyle Lovett, because I've loved both those guys.
Right.
And I opted for just the sticking to the athletes. Both of those phenomenal though. I wanted to go with people that when you say Texas A&M, you think of them. That was what I was going for.
Yeah.
And I would throw Rick Perry out there too. Whether you liked him or didn't, he was a big ass Aggie.
He was a yell leader. He was a yell leader all the way back in the day.
True.
Yeah. ATX Bates wants to put Jaworski Lane on the list. There you go. The lane train, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Bo,
Jason, did you see what Chris Bennett just said?
Oh my God.
No. There's nothing. Okay. Okay. Bo, let me make sure I understand. Are you officially replacing R.C. Slocum with Doc Hastings?
No, because he declined the nomination. So
Okay.
I'm replacing Rip Torn
Yep.
with Coach Jim Schlossnagel.
Okay. So Schlossnagel's in, and so you're okay. So your list is R.C., Mikey, Schlossnagel, Leckler, and Dan Campbell. Is that
I
right?
can't take Leckler or Dan Campbell off. Nobody can take Mike Evans off.
Yeah.
And people will laugh me out of the room if I say Ryan Palmer is one of the 5 best Aggies, even though he's a friend of mine.
Randy says Bucky Richardson. So you know what? We'll at some point at some point the Aggie committee will go over this and we'll figure out what the final verdict is going to be. Before we do that, there were a couple chats I thought that were good. In fact, there are a couple super chats. ATX Bates paying money, $4.99. Dion hasn't done anything either. Let's see what he does with Shedeur or Travis Hunter. Not saying he can't, just saying he hasn't. That was during the coach discussion. And Dion was at like 18.
18.
Like
He's
19.
two spots ahead of Lane Kiffin, who you mentioned, Bo.
Well,
I almost felt like Dion maybe needed a little push up, maybe a little bit,
to
Do you think he should be higher than 18?
maybe a little bit. Just give him a look. I don't know, top 15-ish.
Let's see
Maybe.
what they do next year.
Well, and that is a valid point. But what he has done in the 4 years of him coaching is make Jackson State relevant, go to basically 0-12 Colorado team, and you can say he brought Shedeur and Travis with him. He recruited Travis to Jackson State, so that's a part of Dion. And 2, Shedeur's his son. So the fact that he made Shedeur doesn't count against him for having him as his quarterback. Like,
Okay.
sorry, you can't say, well, you won because you had Shedeur Sanders. Well, it's his damn kid.
It is. That's true. That is true. ATX Bates, we thank you for that super chat. Here's another one. Chris Bennett's being nice. Chad is my favorite Aggie. Great show, guys. Chris Bennett, I appreciate that. If you had to make a top 5 list, you can't put me 5 times. They wouldn't let you do that. You got to find 4 others. You got to do it. But I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it. All right. So we have that. I think I know. And by the way, there's a couple good. You know what? Chris Bennett throws Dat Wynn's name in. Dat needs to be in consideration. ATX Bates says Dat was his number one. If we're just talking about good human beings, Dat Wynn, I think, would definitely be on the list. How about Ray Childress? S. Roan? There you go.
Ray Childress.
That's what I'm talking about.
I grew up with Ray Childress, and there was a Lawrence Marshall Ford dealership in Hempstead, Texas. And Ray Childress was playing for the Oilers at the time, and you couldn't turn a TV on without seeing Mattress Mac in a mattress throwing money up, saying, "We will save you money." And Ray Childress up there coming out to Lawrence Marshall Ford out here in Hempstead.
Dude, I'm telling you, Chance, the first time, I have never in my life wanted to buy a pickup more than when I heard him do that commercial the first time. It's perfect. It's one of those perfect commercials I've ever seen.
Oh, he'd have the flannel on with his sleeves rolled up, sitting on the back of a truck. Come on out here to Lawrence Marshall Ford here in Hempstead.
Perfect. They had to sell 1 million trucks off of that. Ray Childress, a big shout out to you. We will get the official top 5 decision coming up. But right now, Chance, we're talking, we're forcing you to talk Aggies tonight. I appreciate you doing it. So let's be fair, and we'll let you talk about Arch. Not Manning, but Arch Public. We'll let you talk a little Arch Public for the people. Let them know what they're doing over there.
Well, it's been an interesting week over at Arch Public. I told you guys their big new product that they're working with right now is this Bitcoin product that people are trying to add Bitcoin to their portfolio. They want to have it in there. It's a hedge against inflation. It's a really interesting thing. Well, guess what? Now we've got the government and banks starting to adapt to what this crypto market is doing. So what Arch Public does is they use the computers to help you purchase it at the right time. So they're using algorithms to buy at the dips, giving you the most value. So if you go and you speak with your financial advisor and you decide you want to have X number of dollars of Bitcoin, you go in there, you talk to Arch Public, and they will set you up to make sure that you buy that amount of Bitcoin over a certain specified amount of time that you make, and they'll buy it at the right times. It's a strategic thing. It's fantastic. The guys at Arch Public are absolutely incredible. That's why the Cardone brothers are all over it, and they're using it. It's been great. Arch Public, scan that QR code or just hit me up on X. I'll be happy to get you in touch with Tillman and his guys. Arch Public, this Bitcoin thing is great. If you're interested, talk to your financial advisor. Give these guys a call.
All right, it is the Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. Doc Hastings, nice enough to join us tonight, live from Cisco, Texas. He's wearing a poncho. He's wearing the Piedras Negras tonight. I didn't get the black poncho memo that my dad and Jason and Chance got. Bo didn't get it either. Bo got
orange.
Bo heard we were talking favorite Aggies, and he put on every inch of burnt orange he could find.
Yeah, right, I did.
It scared him to death. Are they going to make me do a yell practice? No, Bo. We're good.
Woo!
Okay.
I can play Aggie too.
Nobody's going to touch your butt, Bo. It's okay.
Hey, you know what?
Alone.
Bo, let me tell you something. Since you mentioned her earlier, I'm going to tell you something. This is a message from my mother. My mother has discovered that the swaying motion from the war hymn is pretty good for the knees. She's had a little bit of a knee issue going on, and apparently that helps to stretch out the knee flexors. So I'm just letting everybody know, little sway back and forth can help the knee stabilization.
We call that war hymn therapy is what we call that.
Yeah, it works. You can do it.
Out of deference to you, Doc Hastings, I will wait till another show to say what I think it is, because I respect you and your wife.
Yeah, you be careful. You be very careful with that.
All right. Careful.
Is the war hymn the thing they played on TV before Texas and Texas A&M this year?
That's correct, Jason.
Okay, yeah. Doc, I read the lyrics to that.
You don't know what they mean, like hullabaloo and kinnick. Like,
Doc, I read the lyrics. Words. I read the lyrics to the war hymn, and I needed therapy. So
look, there's a lot of old school words in there. It's It's like when Old Miss starts
Those aren't words. If they're not in the damn dictionary, they're not real. If you can find me a Webster's dictionary that has a hullabaloo or a kinnick, then we'll talk.
You know what? You need to stop bringing all this rigmarole to the show. That's what you need to
Hey,
stop.
you are a university supposedly of higher learning, and your damn fight song doesn't even have real words in it.
We are going to have a rowdy dow if you keep bringing this kind of mess to the show. You're going to get me all
The
flabbergasted.
eyes of Texas are upon you. Gubba-blue-blue. It's like a damn Adam Sandler song. Like, no, you have to use real words.
That we should have that edition. Bo doing the war hymn, and all he does is. By the
way, did y'all see him at the Oscars with that Timothy Chalamet dude when he walks up?
Chalamet. Oh, Chalamet. That is fantastic. All right. So I think it's pretty simple, fellas, what we're gonna do. This is my suggestion. We're gonna have the Aggie committee meet here on the top 5 if y'all don't mind. By the way, if y'all have ever heard the theory that men's noses and ears never stop growing, check this out. Yeah, look at that. See that? Good Lord. We're practically stepping on our earlobes out here in Cisco.
Okay.
Good grief.
The only question is, can Doc Hastings do Lou Holtz?
Can Doc Hastings do Lou Holtz? I don't know. Give it a shot. Have you ever done Lou Holtz?
No, I can't do Lou Holtz. No. Not like you.
That was like Porky Pig and Daffy Duck doing Lou Holtz.
That was
Screw it. RC Slocum's off. Doc Hastings is off.
Oh my God, that was fantastic! I never knew what it would sound like if Daffy Duck imitated Lou Holtz. That's awesome. All right, so here's what we're gonna do, fellas. To both Jason and Bo and what they tried to do at the third position, we're not allowing this to happen. The big hitters back in. If Quentin Coriat's not on this list, it's not really a list. It's the greatest hit in the history of Aggie football. Quentin Coriat's back in. I see what you're trying to do with your little sloth joke, Bo. Just enjoy your new baseball coach. We're not putting him on the list, okay? So we're going to keep.
He's the winningest coach in Aggie history.
I know who he is.
He's the only Aggie coach to go to a championship game in a major men's sport.
Just say thank you. I'll say you're welcome, and we're moving on. That's what we're doing, okay? We're going to leave Shane Leckler at the 4 spot, but here's what we're going to do. As much as I dig me some Dan Campbell, Jason Dick laid out the proper argument for why Johnny Football has to be on a favorite list. Johnny Football goes in at number 5 because I assume that at their best, their partying best, Johnny Manziel could probably outlast even Dan Campbell at the chicken.
Here's a Metallica concert story with Leckler.
May I interject about this? Number 5, that's sort of tough for me because I have these soft spots for both those guys in position number 5. When my mom was in assisted living in Waxahachie, who was living in the same facility with her, but Dan Campbell's grandmother. And every once in a while, Dan would show up over at the facility, and
he did sign an autograph for her.
And he signed an autograph for my mom. Yeah.
Do we have to put him back in?
When I see that, so I'm saying I love Dan. I love Dan Campbell.
Okay.
But as Chad said, and I completely agree with this, Johnny Manziel may be a loon, but he's our loon. Okay?
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
What that guy did for Aggie football
We have
in the
Jason.
time he was there is unbelievable. I will never forget those 2 seasons. Never forget those 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And so, Jason, in a way, I'm agreeing with you. What joy he brought to us just watching that guy.
I think Bo just stopped being a member of your fan club right there. I think he's done.
I'm good. I just said Jason's our loon. And
I'm happy.
Jason Arloon. Oh, my bad. Okay, I got you.
We've had some good names thrown out there, though. Like, I was a huge Leland McElroy fan.
Oh, Leland McElroy, yeah.
I loved Rodney Thomas.
Rodney
Yeah.
Thomas
And
is
again,
great.
there's no better football story in the world than Dat Win. Like that's
Dat
a
Win,
that's
I'm
a
just
monster.
surprised, Chad, that as the one who gave you the helmet and you said he was your favorite Aggie of all time, how John David Crow never entered the conversation is beyond me.
Hey, John David's got to be in the discussion. Yes, absolutely. John David's a badass.
Here's the problem with John David, though. It's a lot like when you talk about, and rest in peace to our man James Street. But I think when you talk about people's favorite players, as people they always heard about John David. They heard about him. They knew who he was, but most people that are alive today never got to watch him play.
Oh, I
So he
get
wasn't a favorite player. He wasn't a favorite
Yeah.
Aggie because you didn't have that connection to him.
Yeah, that's what it was ultimately for me. So I think I'm going to go Johnny Manziel 5, Shane Leckler 4, because the interview was incredible on the show.
That's my favorite episode of The Outsiders when Shane was on. That was
Yeah.
wonderful. That was great.
See, there you go.
Shocker.
We'll go Quentin at 3, Mikey at 2. I got to leave Mikey at 2 because Chance put him all the way up at 2, and I love Mike Evans. And how can I argue with Chance's story about RC Slocum? Are you kidding? Come on. The story and Jason, relieved himself right next to RC. They had a moment, okay? They had a moment together in the bathroom at a football game or wherever it was.
Did you ask if he
It
wanted
was
to play
him.
sports?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is at that time of Jason's life, Jason, how inebriated were you? And was it just an old dude with glasses or was it actually RC Slocum?
No, it was definitely. Well, you know what? I haven't really thought about it from that angle, Bo.
Was he wearing a shirt that said RC on it? So you just assumed?
I was pretty positive that it was RC Slocum. However, you make a good point. All right. Usually, I keep myself dehydrated enough. I don't need to make a bathroom stop in the middle of a football game. So I must have had a few.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. All right. So before we do anything else here, and Bo's gonna do that in a second. But Bo, do you want to get to let's get to the reason that you wanted Doc Hastings on the show? Because you've been bugging me for a while now about my father's business card, which has been handed to more people than about anything I can think of in this world. It's been handed to a lot of folks. So some
of them didn't even want it, but they have it anyway.
Some of them. That was cute. So Bo, would you like to talk a little? Do you want me to show the card and you do a little play-by-play, or how do you want to present this?
I just have some questions because it's remarkable. There's so many good aspects to this card. And I've been telling you about this for since we started this show. This business card, I hope.
All right, I'm flashing it up. You tell the people what you love about it.
Oh, there's so many things, but okay, let's start with the email address. And this was just something I recognize right now. And Chance was the one that pointed out that it's an SBC global address, which is funny in its own right. But he used his initials and the word Cobra. I think it's awesome. You gave yourself the nickname the Cobra, which ties in with the title for your job, which is independent thinker.
Yeah,
you're a physics professor named the Cobra. That's an independent thinker who just happens to mention at the bottom that you're a native of Cisco. That's some serious Cisco pride right there. This card is amazing.
Well, you bring up a very interesting point. You're not the only one who asked me that. The Cobra is there because there is always an element of mystery, of sort of respect. You leave the snake alone. He's sometimes you don't know where he is, and you don't really know for sure if he's going to be a helpful or hindrance. What I'm saying is that a Cobra is hard to figure out, and that's kind of what I like to be.
You see yourself as a Cobra.
Well,
yeah.
That can tell you other things.
Chad Hastings.
It's
CH Copperhead. Global.
You
always know what a copperhead.
Copperhead might have been better, but a copperhead is not as show offy as a Cobra. The Cobra does the.
That's why I said your son is a copperhead, because
Chad's
not a show off. You know what Chad's going to do every time. He's going to go right straight line.
That's the point.
I'm gonna hide under the porch and wait for you to step on me. And then you're in trouble. That's what that is.
Then you're in trouble.
Okay,
so that's my best explanation. Sorry.
Let me also clarify. When did the business card get created? When along the line did it get created? Because you had a 40-year career as an educator and as a teacher and at the high school level. Did you have a business card while that was going on?
I did, but I always represented somebody else. This is my retirement card. This is my retirement card. I don't work for anybody now.
You came up with this business card when you went into the business of retirement.
That's true. Yes, I would say that's probably fair. And yes, correct.
I think my favorite part of it, fellas, because I'm a little sensitive to this, is that the name is in all caps, Doc Hastings on the card. I'm a big fan of that. Just lots
for
of
me,
capital
it was
letters.
always the independent thinker. Like people
Like
put
that.
like flat, like president or CEO. No, I'm just an independent thinker. Back
That's
up, bitch.
Damn, Bo.
Have you,
God.
Doc? Have you ever addressed anybody with that exact explanation when presenting this card?
No, that's when I come in as his hype man.
Yeah, that's right. No, well, I usually they don't ask me about the email address, but when I first got to Waxahachie, growing up in a small town like Cisco, Waxahachie was very much larger than it was back then. But when I first got to Waxahachie in the early '70s, most of those students were like me. The only doctors I knew were MDs and vets, and well, maybe your dentists and so forth. And so they didn't like they were like I was when I was in school. I didn't know what a PhD was. So anyway, I was introduced myself and to show that I was kind of different, I guess, from other teachers, because most PhDs don't wind up teaching high school like I did, so I explained that, and they had a problem with that. Would you want us to call you Dr. Hastings? I feel like I'm talking to my family physician when I say that. And so my students, my very first year, decided, look, let's call you just Doc, okay? And so it was really my students that gave me that name. And so it was like most of my students probably didn't know my real name. So when I'm in Cisco, they call me Ronnie, and when I'm in Waxahachie, they call me Doc.
There it is. And he hands the business card to all of them.
That's exactly.
All of them get the business card.
That's right.
Don't you worry about that.
Hit chord out of that sentence. Everybody that meets Doc Hastings gets the business.
They all get the business.
What they're dealing with. An independent thinking cobra that will still whoop their ass in a awesome hat and a poncho shirt.
All right.
I don't care what the chatters say. I'm a Doc Hastings fan.
Well,
there you go.
You were so comfortable. It was so great to chat with you at Texas Card House and get to know you. And I'm looking forward to future conversations. Okay.
All right, Bo, let's do this. Somebody in the chat has asked me and my dad to come up with our favorite Longhorns. So we're going to do that after you tell them about Engage Vacations, because it's that time of year where people might be starting to think about vacations. Tell them what Engage can do for them.
Engage takes the guesswork out of going places. Engage makes your vacation an actual vacation and not a chore. How many of you out there have had to set up a family vacation or a group trip for your buddies? It's a pain in the freaking ass to figure out where to stay that actually meets everybody's needs, to figure out where you're going to eat at the location. If it's a cruise, what excursions you're going to take. The vacation becomes the job. Not if you engage vacations. Wow, that was a nice little pun there by myself. 922-3322 is the number. That's 922-3322. They take the guesswork out of it. You call Engage and you tell them where you want to go. You tell them how you want to stay, whether it's kids and adults, whether it's adults only, whether you want fine dining, or whether you want to save a little money and use your money on going fishing in the ocean. Whatever it is, Engage can set it up. Disney cruise to Greece, Europe, Alaska, Fiji, Australia, whatever it is you want to do, get with professionals for nothing. They charge you nothing. It's no cost to you to get an actual good vacation prepared by professionals that have toured all the sites and can get what you want. It's Engage Vacations, 922-3322.
There you go.
That was a great pun, Bo. I was very proud.
I didn't even realize I said it till I said it.
That was very good. Hey, by the way, Doc and Chad.
Yes.
My mom just sent me this, which is kind of funny.
Okay.
My grandmother
showing his phone.
Yeah, you got to zoom in on it though. No, you got to make my screen big, Chad.
Oh, duh. Hold on. Come on, bro. Why did I just lean in? That's an Aggie joke right there.
All right.
Yeah.
That is my grandmother, who was the Texas A&M watermelon queen in 1949, somewhere between 49 and 52.
Texas A&M watermelon queen? Fantastic. Yeah. How neat is that? Congratulations to her and you and the whole family. That's fantastic.
They don't have watermelon queens anymore, I don't think, but they used to be a big thing.
That's right. Yeah, that would not anymore. That's right. Well, I was telling Bo at Texas Hard House, a lot of people think that I'm I have to be anti-Longhorn and all this because I was an Aggie and I spent 8 years there. But let me tell you something. My first job was at the University of Texas at Austin. I was an adjunct professor.
Wow.
Right after I got my doctorate. Mm-hmm. And I worked out of Austin, had an office in the physics and astronomy building there on campus. And I taught secondary school teachers, and they got credit for my physics course I taught for that. And then, and I'm not trying to get into politics here, but Nixon cut off the funds for that, and I only got to do that for a year. So, Nixon is not my favorite president.
Wow,
okay.
I didn't think of Nixon.
Half Aggie, half Longhorn. Doc Hastings, a real Rip Torn. All right.
They call him the Rip Torn of Waxahachie.
Yeah, that's right. The Rip. Well, let me also. I think that's a good point, Jason. The other thing about Rip Torn, I was impressed he was in the Corps Cadets. So was I. Anybody that's in the Corps Cadets is a true Aggie. I like to think once an Aggie, always an Aggie. Because who else would go through that? Being a member of the Corps Cadets at A&M, it was a fantastic time. I rode both sides. I was in the Corps. I was out of the Corps. I know all aspects of it, and have great, wonderful memories, and no regrets. I'm happy to say.
All right, so I got good news for you. Apparently, you have impressed ATX Baits enough that he's going to make you one of his famous fishing lures. Inspired by your business card design.
That's fantastic.
ATX Baits, that's fantastic. That's a great idea. So
I also made you the did I not?
Wait, what is happening? What's going on?
Did you see that?
What are you doing?
They've evacuated the Texas Tech campus. There's green flames coming out of all the manholes.
Oh my God. I didn't realize that. All right, let's check on that. Check on your people in Lubbock. What is going on?
That reminds me of Christmas Vacation. Remember the green.
I'm looking at the business card and I don't see chemistry on here, so we're not sending Doc Hastings to Lubbock.
Guys,
no.
Eat Mexican food in Lubbock, and you'll have green fire coming out of your manhole as well.
There it is. There it is. All right, we'll get to the one I mentioned earlier, but first, super chat $4.99. Wait, I've been listening to Chad for 20 plus years. Never knew Doc was an Aggie. Neil deGrasse Tyson. What the hell happened to Chad? Apple far from. We don't have enough time, Bates. We really don't have enough time. But thank you for trying to head down that road. All right, so here's what they've done, Dad. They want to know from us, who are your top 5 Longhorns? We've been nice enough. Excuse me. Chance and the fellas and everybody in the chat have been nice enough that they are. We had the Aggie discussion. They want to know our favorite Longhorns. So Doc Hastings did come up with the perfect number 1, but we're going to figure out the rest of it. I'm going to suggest Ricky Williams.
I would second that, and of course, then I'm going to come up with Earl Campbell.
Okay, because Ricky is like their Manziel in a way, little kooky, but their guy. They really embrace the whole thing.
There's a loon too, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Earl, I agree. Earl, like maybe all the way up to 2 for Earl.
I would have to go there.
Earl freaking Campbell. By the way, you know what else? How about this, fellas? Today for breakfast in the house, my mother served Earl Campbell jalapeno sausage.
That's right.
How about that?
Wow. Oh my God.
How about that? We may be Aggies, but we ain't dumb when it comes to that.
Doc, you're gonna love this thing I'm about to show you. I'm bringing up my phone again, Bo. So
okay, Chance showing us his phone is the new thing. Bo loves this. This is Bo's favorite new part of the show. Chance working a phone. Here we go. And just showing it to us on the show.
I'm showing it to Doc Hastings. I don't care about y'all.
Just to Doc.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That's my dad and Earl Campbell at the Texas High School All-Star game, where my dad happened to beat Earl out for the MVP.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Because they always said your dad was way better athlete than Earl Campbell. They said that all the time.
He can throw a football better.
All day.
Let me say, I'm a non-athlete football fan. I fell in love with football when I was the manager trainer all 4 years of high school. So I look at sports in general, but especially football, a little bit differently. But being an Aggie, it was so hard for me to watch all the success that a guy like Earl Campbell was having during the college years. So it was tremendous relief for me. He goes to the pros, and I finally got to root for Earl. I can publicly go out and talk about how great a guy Earl Campbell was.
I love you, blue, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Love you, blue. Love you, blue.
Okay, so I understand that Bo tried to get you into the other list and you declined, and that makes sense because you didn't want to go over RC. I think since we get to decide and nobody can say no, we should put Mach 5 in our list. I think Chance should be like number 3 on our favorite Longhorn list.
Oh, I
do the show with him. He played. I mean, he played, right? He played. He was the quarterback. He was the badass quarterback for this team. He won a game against Texas Tech that's legendary. He should have won more games, but they screwed things up. We've been over it. We'll go over it more. But Chance Mock should be number 3 on the list. That's my suggestion.
I will not go against that because I want to personally thank Chance. He doesn't know anything about this, but last season, in the early baseball season, he talked about one of the great Longhorn baseball teams, and he talked about the fact that how great it was that they won like their first 16 games. And I said, well, I knew the Aggies that year were doing pretty well. Let me check it out. And sure enough, they were getting close to that. So thanks to Chance, I got to follow Aggie baseball last season. And of course, they had such a great team. Thank you, Chance.
Okay.
I do what I can.
So we need a number 4 spot. We have our number 1. Don't worry. We'll get you the number 1. Here's my suggestion for 4. I'm a big fan. We'll go old school.
Okay. I like old school, yeah.
How about Bobby Lane?
Ooh, oh boy.
The do everything guy. Quarterback, pitcher. The man pitched like an incredible. I think it was actually a no-hitter against our Aggies, but he did it like hammered drunk, apparently, and swore at the people in the crowd while he was doing it.
You got to respect that.
I just love the legendary quality of a guy. He's kind of the Manziel type too.
He is a kind of a man.
But I like so here we go. Here's our final list. Here's the Aggie committee's final list of our favorite Longhorns. Number 5 is Ricky Williams. Shout out to Ricky. Number 4 is Bobby Lane. Number 3 is Chance Mock, the Mach 5. Number 2 is Earl Campbell. And number 1, older Longhorns, teach your children well. Our number 1 favorite Longhorn is Tom freaking Landry. If your kids don't know, tell them. He's not just the coach of the Cowboys. He was a back-to-back captain on Orange Bowl winning teams for Texas. He served his country. He flew bombing raids. The plane went down. He still got out of there. Tom Landry needs statues on every corner of Austin, Texas. He's our favorite Longhorn. Tom Landry. That's the guy. That's the one. There you go. We thank you guys for asking who our favorite Longhorns were.
Nobody tell Colt in a poncho shirt.
No. That's true. Colt, yeah. You know what? Hey, we'll show Colt in a poncho shirt.
Colt be the first out.
First out. Right here. First out.
There he is.
There you go. Yeah. Love me some Colt. I do love me some Colt.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the guy that got me looking at poncho shirts, forgetting him. I owe Colt.
And hey, look at this. Look at this. Since you are about to be the proud owner of one of these things, look at this one. Look at Colt driving a machine right here.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Look at that side by side, Doc.
Pretty cool.
Actually, what I'm actually
you get the side by side.
Polaris. No, it's just a single seater.
It's gonna be the 2-seater. The 2-seater with the trough in the back.
Yeah, but
that's still side by side.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Oh, that's
all you have to do is say the word, and one of these will appear on your doorstep. That's all I'm saying.
What's that, Bo?
Orange, I'll make it happen.
Say it again.
I said all Doc Hastings has to do is say the word, and an orange poncho.
I know that. That's why I'm not saying the word. I know. You're such a good guy. I know that.
That's partially because it's getting later, and partially because apparently I drank the whole cup of brown water, not a small one, by the way, and need a refill. Do you have a dick move, or can I use it?
Oh, please.
Go ahead, Bo.
Dick move for me.
Y'all. NFL free agency just hit. Chance's team spent their money very wisely. They re-signed Josh Allen to a very long-term deal. They signed Joey Bosa, even if he's not the same Joey Bosa he used to be, but he's a very good player.
Hey, congrats on Bosa, by the way, Chance. I like that move for you guys.
Yeah, they lost Von Miller to the cost. They replaced him with Bosa. That's what winning teams do. Jason, you think you're down in the dumps because the Cowboys' big move was re-signing Rico Dowdle.
Oh, wait, we did give you Kyrie Elam, though. Congratulations.
Okay, well,
wow.
you know what my team, the Tennessee Titans, has done throughout free agency, other than losing players? They made one signing. A punter. That was the big move of my team, was to sign a punter.
I like that you just skimmed over re-signing Rico Dowdle. Like you skimmed right over that like it was a mid-level move for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, you know what? I'd rather have signed Rico Dowdle than a punter. Like,
you know what? Hang on. Let's focus on the right side of the screen. Cowboy fan, Cowboy fan, Cowboy fan. Fellas, would we rather have a punter or Rico Dowdle?
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to draft Ashton Genty, so I probably would have. Look, I like, what is it, Brian Anger? We also re-signed a punter.
We do have a really good punter. I'm just saying, of those two things, I don't want to re-sign Rico Dowdle.
Thank y'all for the 5th and the 7th round picks that y'all gave us for Kyrie Elam. Like, we wanted him to go away, and y'all gave us things for him. It was awesome.
Day 3 picks. Jerry is so drunk by then, he doesn't even make them. Okay, he doesn't care.
Day 3 picks are where you make your money. Those are where
exactly. That's why Jerry's like, I don't care about those things.
Can't even talk about it. Can't even talk about it.
This year on day 3, the Tennessee Titans are going to draft a guy that's 60 years old and playing JUCO ball.
Oh my God. I do like, though, Bo, you remind me every once in a while that there's something further down the bottom of the barrel. Like, I think I live at the bottom of the barrel in a way in the NFL as a Cowboys fan, and you always remind me there's like 8 layers below where the Cowboys live sometimes. So thank you.
We have the number 1 pick in a year where there is nobody to take number 1. Sorry, my dog's going nuts. So Brody's going to join the back end of the show.
His name is Bodie with an R.
What's the name? What's the name?
His name is Brody.
What a good boy.
I call him Brody. Brody with an R.
What's up, Brody?
I like Brody.
The adoption agency gave him a great middle name, too, because his name is Brody Biscuits.
Brody Biscuits.
Brody Biscuits was the name they gave him. We gave him a new last name.
Brody Biscuits giving kisses to daddy on the outsiders. That is what I'm.
There you go.
That is good stuff.
That's nice.
That's a little. That's a
Like
little feel good. And we got a couple weird chats from ATX Bates before we get out of here. But before that, Bo, let's hit a little serious note on the way out. Because we do have, where'd it go? We do have the Jeff Anavros tournament coming up to honor his greatness. Let's remind people about that tournament is coming up pretty fast.
Well, it's April 26th, Saturday, April 26th. This is going to be the funnest day you could have. You go play in the Jeff Anavros Field of Dreams tournament with a bunch of former Longhorn baseball players to honor the memory and raise money for youth baseball at Forest Creek Golf Course in Round Rock. And then immediately hightail it over to the Dish for Texas versus Texas A&M baseball that afternoon. You can wrap it up and have the best Texas baseball day of your life. Go play the Jeff Anavros tournament. Jeff was a Central Texas institution, went to Round Rock High School. I've known Jeff since I was 8 years old. Jeff was an amazing person. His wife is even more amazing. And his wife wants to honor his memory after he died 2 years ago with this foundation. So scan the QR code, call Forest Creek Golf Course, or message me on Twitter, Facebook, whatever the stuff, and I'll get you all the details. It's the Jeff Anavros Field of Dreams Golf Tournament.
Very cool. Rest in peace to the great Jeff Anavros. And
one of us in this screen is a defending champion. So if you want to take me down a peg, which you might be able to do because I have a bum elbow now, come take your swing. Pay your money to Jeff's charity and take a shot at the title.
Okay, is it just me? We got to go back to Bo full screen here. Bo, are you like petting the dog in such a way that he's in a trance? Like Brody just like closed his eyes and looked like he's about to fall asleep a second ago.
This dog goes to bed at 8:00 at night. So.
That is a chill animal.
He was asleep in the chair in my office/studio, and he just woke up when my daughter came home from work, and he doesn't know what to do because it's way past his bedtime.
That is fantastic. All right, before we get out of here, ATX Bates threw us a couple of weird chats, and if I could just go to the right place, I would find them. Couple of weird castings from beyond from ATX Bates before we get out of here. Gene Wilder to play Tom Penders at some point down the line, and Gene Hackman to play Tom Landry. There you
He
go.
also suggested Rip Torn could play R.C. Slocum.
Wow. Rip Torn. Was he trying to kill Rip Torn? Rip Torn's not dead, is he?
No, Rip Torn dead.
No, but the rule
Rip Torn
is
is dead.
apparently
He did
on
die.
our show, you
All
have
right,
to be
Rip.
dead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Rip Torn is in your list now. I didn't. I
Luke
did
Perry's
not.
dead, right? We confirmed
We
that.
really have to go back and play that game of Are They Dead or Alive? Because it's actually really a hard game.
Sometimes it's difficult. They used to do y'all remember the game show on MTV, Remote Control?
With Colin Quinn, baby.
That was the first time I ever heard of Dead or Alive, and
Dead
they
or
would play
Alive.
Dead or Alive, and then it was Dead, Alive, or Canadian, and then it was Dead, and then it was like Dead or they do Dead or Canadian, and then it was Dead, Alive, or Indian food. Like they would do a lot of the different versions of it. It was fantastic. All right, let me double check for super chats here before we wrap it up. I think that's going to be it. Let's give Poncho a little more love. Everyone on the show right now is wearing poncho from the flannel. Let's just take you around. Let's just take you around. Black flannel. You got that bad boy right there. It's a beautiful mother of pearl snap. Chance is just like these two fellas. Loves the mother of pearl snap. This is the Piedras Negras, mother of pearl. Pulls the phone out of a secret pocket. I'm wearing the Performance Crew in the sky blue, which is why I look so bright and shiny tonight. Bo's rocking one of those Longhorn themed ones. Which one is that, Bo?
This is the 1963.
1963.
Okay, 1963, obviously named after one of the championship teams there. You could check that out. Or maybe you could go the route of our man Jason Dick. Jason's got this is the black, but with the normal button, right?
I know this one, okay? I'm not going to dip chicken myself like I did a couple of weeks ago. This is the burnt ends. I have the burnt ends on right now.
That's a great name. Yeah, burnt ends. That's a really cool name for that shirt. So you got all of that. Plus, since I made a graphic, I'll show it twice. Here we are working outside, getting some stuff done in Cisco. And yes, if you look closely, there's a few things in that tool belt. ATX Bates, how dare you say that there's nothing in the tool belt? The Performance Crew, it's fantastic. These short sleeve shirts are comfortable, but the long sleeves are great. If you need just like a nice thin layer, Chance Mock has talked about coaching football in the crazy heat in the Woodlands area because it helps, protect the arms and stuff like that. Doc Hastings is one of those guys. Got to protect the arms.
I can't go out in the sun without some covering.
Even when he's outside. Yeah. Would you say that the Performance Crew is now going to be a part of your outdoor working wardrobe?
I would have to say, because again, Chance talked about how you could wear those things out in the heat, and you're absolutely right. I mean, it's fantastic. Those long sleeve T-shirts, or I guess what it's called, they are fantastic. You don't get really, really hot. You breathe, and I'm gonna have one for this coming summer.
Yep.
All the time.
There it is. The man's sold.
I'm sold.
The man is sold. There you go. Check out Poncho Outdoors.
Thank you, Bo. Thank you.
PonchoOutdoors.com. Bo breaking down business cards, and you might get a fishing lure out of it. That's
listen. Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's because I've seen those fishing lures. That's fantastic. Could I throw in a piece of important information?
I would be shocked if you didn't.
Because I always try to leave something. Neil deGrasse Tyson is my hero, so y'all need to go away with some information. If you ever drink a Devil's Backbone, one of the cool things about that is that they put a name of a Texas city in Texas under each bottle, and it varies. You get a 6-pack, you may get 6 different Texas cities. I just want to let you know that tonight, when I opened this bottle, it was Tyler.
Tyler, Texas.
There you go.
There you go.
And who was a Tyler Rose?
Earl Campbell.
There it is.
There you go.
Did you figure that out before or after you spilled it all over almost my computer?
While I was spilling.
While you were spilling it, that's when you read Tyler? Okay,
that's right,
just checking. Thanks, y'all, for liking and subscribing and getting those notifications. Remember, if you didn't like it on the way in, like it on the way out, because I guarantee you didn't see any show that was like this one tonight. Just give us a like. It's free. You can do it.
Tracy has a super chat down there.
I enjoyed this thoroughly. Thank you.
Hey, what happened, Jason? What was it?
Tracy has a super chat.
Oh, wait.
He's going to get his $2 worth.
$2. Hold on.
I want my $2.
I mean, we got to have $2. We got to have this. Tracy, $2 super chat. Hotter than Prime, Shania or Carrie Underwood. Okay. Come on, Tracy. We gotta play a man's game here. It's pretty simple, right? That's Shania.
Shania.
It's easy, right? Yeah.
I'm gonna go Carrie Underwood. All right, that the leopard print
Yeah, but you
onesie.
think Sydney Sweeney's the hottest girl in the world, so we don't value your opinion.
I say to Shania, that don't impress me much. Okay.
Yeah. That's okay. Jason, I know Carrie Underwood would appreciate that, and then she would tell you you're wrong.
Yeah.
Even she knows. She knows it's Shania. Come on.
Shania now is hotter than Carrie Underwood.
No, that's a whole. Come on now. That might be a little different discussion.
Shania gets. She was the first one that I.
Oh.
Well, there was Dina Carter. Dina Carter with strawberry wine.
Strawberry wine.
17.
I did. Wow.
All right, we have completely gone off the track now.
Jason, would you like to sing a little more strawberry wine for us tonight?
Like strawberry wine. 17.
With a voice like an angel like that, how are you unemployed?
You're like a mixture of Fergie and Jesus.
Saw everything. I don't know all the lyrics to that thing, but pretty sure that song might be. It's a little statutory-ish, if you ask me, man.
Yeah,
okay?
all
I
right.
don't know if that'd fly today.
Now we're analyzing songs we probably shouldn't be analyzing. All right, y'all take care. We'll be back next Wednesday night at 8:30. And nice to meet Brody tonight. Was Brody? Is that right? Jason,
Yes,
you need
it
a
is
dog
Brody.
next week. We've seen Chance's dog and Bo's dog. I need to see. We'll need you to bring the dog out if you can. That would be.
Brody's dead asleep at this point, so he's good.
Brody's asleep. All right, y'all take care. We'll see you next week. Until then, we are the Outsiders, and no matter who's on your top 5 list, we are legitimately